came into contact with somebody from one of the big four. Ended up becoming kind of a mentor to me. He's now a member of our club.
Man, when I first saw my first Hell's Angel standing there, I was like, that's what I want to be, man.
If you're going to the three-piece, just like you know, it is truly an outlaw standard. Doesn't make you a one-percenter, but it makes you an outlaw.
This is what I believe in, you know, and it was awesome to see that my brothers believed in me.
It's the wolf leading the sheep. Man, you know, the sheep need to open their eyes because they about to walk off the cliff where a whole other pack of wolves are at the bottom.
If you were getting your lunch money taken before you put some rags on, if they catch you by yourself, they're going to take your lunch money again.
I try to be around the guys and hang out with them as much as possible and get to know them, because that's really what it's about.
The Hells Angels are being arraigned.
One man was stabbed in the chest, another was knocked out, who faced criminal charges, including charges of hate crimes as well as gang allegations. One defendant faces an attempted murder charge, so this certainly appears to be a widespread investigation.
Welcome to this episode of Chattin with Staxx. I'm your host, Bill Staxx, and today we're going to talk about this unfortunate situation. Now, let me explain something. I got multiple sources told me that Lonnie passed away, and now people are telling me that that's not true. So if it's not true, I will tell you. But I heard it from multiple sources that he passed away. It could possibly be not true. So I don't want to give you guys misinformation. Last thing we knew, he was on life support, and people told me that he passed away. Now, a lot of people are attacking Cycle Drag about this situation, and I want to get into it a little further. Because this is a serious situation. Like, he is close to death, right? And if it does pass away, or if he did pass away, does this change the situation? Who's responsible for this man's possible death? Is it the bartenders? Is it Cycle Drag for letting him drive away? And some people on Facebook are like, block this guy, he's a troll, blah, blah, blah. I'm the farthest from that. I'm here to report on different things. And if you don't like it, that's cool too. I didn't cause this situation. I know you guys need somebody to blame for this, but I didn't cause it. I'm just here to report on what's going on. Multiple sources told me that he passed away that are close to the guy, you know? But so a lot of people are blaming, pointing fingers everywhere. I think the bartender is responsible for this situation. That's my personal opinion. Everybody's entitled to an opinion. But how come nobody's talking about the person who served them all the drinks? What about that person? Want to protect that person? Because they need to be held accountable. They're the ones that served them the drinks, let them walk out the bar. So, I mean, I'm caught in the middle with the Cycle Drag thing. Should he have let him go? I think no. I think he shouldn't have let him drive away. He was obviously impaired. It was pretty bad to let him drive away in that condition. But he is responsible for himself. He is the one responsible. You're right. But the people at the bar should have cut him off, took his keys. That's the protocol that they have, right? And people are held accountable. If you're a bartender and you overserve someone, they end up driving away and killing themselves, you're responsible for that. So I don't know. I mean, I see that a lot of people are angry. They're pointing fingers at people. And it seems like they're trying to point fingers at me now just because I said he possibly passed away. That's what I'm hearing. I'm hearing he passed away. Is it possible he can in the future? It is possible. Last thing I heard, he was on life support, and then I hear different sources telling me that he passed away that are close to the situation. I don't know if it's 100% positive, so I'm going to change the title. I don't want to put out false information. I want to put out information that's that's verified, but I did reach out to multiple sources. Multiple sources told me that he passed away. So maybe they unplugged him. I don't know. I don't know, Paula. But before we get started, make sure you hit the like button, subscribe, hit the notification bell so you can get my videos every time they drop. Tell a friend to tell a friend. Tell your mother's, brother's, sister's friend about Chattin with Staxx, the dopest motorcycle content on YouTube. Hey, Mountain Woman, how you doing? Let me give you some shout-outs before we get started. John and Sadie Show, what's good? Jaman, how you doing? Lindsay, how are you? Thank you for joining me today. I appreciate everything you do for this channel. I don't want to give people misinformation. I definitely don't want to do that. Tommy, what's going on? So some people are telling me that he is still hanging on. So that's someone close to the situation. She said that she talked to his roommate or something like that. Jimmy, what's going on? Scrap Iron, how are you? Paula. Damn, we got a lot of people in the house. Shout out to everybody that takes the time to watch this show. Jimmy Mack. Path Killer, what's good? Cycle Drag should not be responsible. However, I bet the guy from Cycle Drag wishes he had said something. Listen, I think he did say something to him. Should I get you an Uber? But he didn't he didn't do it with authority. You know what I'm saying? He was just like, hey, bud, you think I should get you a ride? He's like, no. And then he just let him drive away. Listen, if you're a part of the biker community, you should have stepped in and made sure this guy was good. He was in no condition to ride away. No condition. I would not let anybody ride away like that. I don't give a shit who it is. If you're there in front of the bar and you don't let him take off like that. The guy was clearly not capable of making sound decisions. And this guy's recording him. Put the damn camera down. And I mean, there's a time when you need to like step in and your humanity needs to take over, because this guy was clearly not making the right decision to jump on a motorcycle and drive away. Some people say he's not responsible. It's not, what is it his responsibility to take care of this guy when he's drunk and this? Listen, I think he is partially responsible. I think the bartender is responsible for serving him that much alcohol and letting him walk out the door to go jump on his bike. How come no one's talking about the bartender that served him the alcohol? I mean, if you're going to throw rocks, you might as well look at all the facts of the story. The bartender is responsible for giving him an excessive amount of drinks and letting him walk out the door. Any bartender will be held responsible for that. When people drink and then get into a car and something happens and people get hurt, including yourself, the bar is responsible. Normally, that's how it goes. I don't know how it goes in Florida, but up here in Connecticut, if a bartender overserves someone, I know a bartender who was arrested for that. They got like 10 years in prison for vehicular manslaughter. So people need to take accountability. But I think Lonnie is to have blame too. He shouldn't have jumped on the bike. But there comes a point where you're drinking too much alcohol and you can't make decisions for yourself. You know what I mean? And he was at that point. He was sleeping on the bike. Staxx is on Black Dragon time. No, I'm on Staxx time, Path Killer. Staxx time. Anytime I go live, I'm on my time. There is no Black Dragon time. But shout out to Black Dragon. Yeah, I'm definitely on my own time. I usually am courteous to people who are on different times, you know. Staxx at the impact and work back 24 hours like TV documentaries do. What's good, Mark? I have a crazy documentary I'm working on right now. You guys are gonna love this one. And it's gonna be on a big network, so it's looking really good. I can't really talk too much about it, but I will give you guys some information at a later date. I could tell you it has to do with motorcycle clubs. That's all I can say. And some of your favorite characters are involved. I can say that too. Travis, how are you? Thank you for joining me today. Appreciate you. We got a lot to talk about. There's a lot going on. I'm praying for Lonnie. I hope he doesn't pass away. I was shocked when I heard that he passed away, because does that change things? If he passes away, does that change things? I think it does. I think it brings it up a level. But where's the bartender who served him all this alcohol? I think everybody involved needs to be held responsible. Craig, how you doing? It's a bit like blaming the gun shop for the customer's actions. Listen, but bartenders have to be responsible for their customers. They can't just serve someone until they're sloppy drunk, crawling around, sleeping on a motorcycle, and then taking off. They have to be held responsible. Let me look up the law in Florida. Shout out to Finland. We got Finland in the house. Danny. Karu. Is that Danny? 8 p.m. in Finland. Shout out to Finland. I think I got a story about Finland today, too. Mountain Woman, how are you? Thank you for joining me today. I would have waited to get the truth before making a video, in my opinion. Putting out false information isn't good for any channel. That's why I'm not putting out false information. I'm telling you right now what it is. And I changed the thumbnail and I'm changing the description. Maybe I jumped the gun, right? But I didn't come out and say false information. I'm telling you exactly what it is. See, I take responsibility for what I do. But I've heard it from multiple sources. It's not like I'm just running with information that I didn't think was credible. I definitely thought the information was credible. And trust me, I don't want that to be the case. I hope he survives. I really do. But where does the responsibility lie? That's what I'm here to talk about. Where does the responsibility lie? Does it lie with the bartender who served him all the alcohol? Or does it lie with the person who let him drive away on the bike? Because someone needs to be held responsible, right? I mean, they need someone to attack, so they might as well put it on me, right? I'm just here to report on what's going on. And I thought the evidence was credible that I got, but apparently I hope he is recovering. I hope he does recover. Nobody wants to see that. It's terrible that he's even going through this. I mean, if there was more people around, I think people would have stepped in. But it was just this guy recording, and he didn't step in. He let the guy drive away. And this is the result. So, I mean, but the description's changed. There's a new thumbnail. And if I find out more information, I will definitely let you guys know. So there's a bunch of different stories going on in the news. We are going to talk about it. The Avengers Motorcycle Club is in the news. There's more information about the pagans being pulled over on the bridge. Apparently, they are getting a lawyer to fight the charges that were brought against them because they feel like they were entrapped. And I think they were entrapped too. That's my personal opinion. What do you guys think? Do you think they were entrapped being funneled on the bridge? One of my old man's brothers lost his job over a week ago. My old man put some cash in a bunch of food. They are going over there this morning to give it to him. Now that's brotherhood, 100%. I think they should put together a GoFundMe and try to help this guy. And if there is a GoFundMe, if anyone's out there that knows about one, let me know and I'll share it. Cycle Drag has it on video asking the gentleman 2 times to let him get him an Uber and that his kickstand was down. If he had told the cops, he would be a rat or a snitch. Yeah, but he could have said, listen, man, he could have been a little more aggressive with it. You know what I'm saying? Not, hey, bud, I don't think you should drive. Hey, bud, I don't think you should drive. Want me to get you an Uber? Come on, man. He could have been like, let's put your bike back, man. A little more authority. Let's put your bike back. You don't need to be driving like that. He could have did a little more, you know what I'm saying? He didn't have to go running to the cops. He could have stood in front of the bike, pushed it back, took his keys out and said, let's get you an Uber. Come on. If there was anybody around, hey, man, help me get this guy. Something. I think he could have done a little more, instead of letting him walk away. Like, would have been the right thing to do. Anybody, I don't care who you are, stop them from doing something to get themselves or others hurt. 100%, man. Because your family member could be on the road and he can be the one that hit your family member in the car or whatever. So it's not just him. I've tried to stop a drunk driver before. I jumped in the window. They took off. I was hanging out of the car. It was crazy. But I got his keys, unplugged the keys. I turned the keys and pulled them out of the ignition. And I just threw myself out of the car. And the car stopped. And he wasn't able to drive away. I whipped his keys. I was like, hell no. No. Because my family could be on the road trying to go to the store, whatever. And you know what I'm saying? So no, I would have definitely stopped him. Maybe the bartender who kept serving him. He's 60 years old and has responsibilities also. I agree with that too. So I'm kind of stuck in the middle, man. Dude's bike literally said intimidate all witnesses. So what? I had to KO a bro to stop him from doing something real stupid. He thanked me later. See? Listen, the guy didn't seem like he was going to be hostile. You know what I'm saying? He didn't seem like he was going to be aggressive or anything. He should have tried harder to stop him. What's up, Henry? Or Harry, how you doing? Thank you. I appreciate that. Listen, I definitely want to put out good information. And if I get bad information, I'll admit it and put it out there. So apparently he's still fighting for his life. So let's all just pray for him. And if I find a GoFundMe that I could share with you guys, you could help out, throw him a couple dollars. Dominic, how you doing? What's up, Staxx? Where I'm from, the bartender is responsible. Let's look up the law, huh? I'll do in Florida. And I understand all these girls are friends, right? All the bartender ladies are all friends. But that doesn't matter. None of that matters. All right, in Florida, a bartender is generally not responsible if someone drinks too much and gets killed due to the state's restrictive dram shop laws. However, liability can exist if the establishment knowingly served alcohol to someone who was underage or addicted to alcohol. In such cases, the victim or the family could file a lawsuit if they can prove the establishment had knowledge of these circumstances. That's really hard to prove. I know in Connecticut, you're held responsible. So if you serve someone that's a minor, or if someone is habitually addicted, the establishment can be held liable if the bartender is knowingly serving a person who is habitually addicted to alcohol and the person later causes casualties or a fatal accident. Proving his knowledge can be challenging, but may include evidence from witness testimony, employee interviews, and surveillance footage. Over serving an adult, a bartender is not typically liable simply for over serving an adult who is not underage. So I guess in Florida, you're not held responsible. It's pretty wild. In Florida, a bartender or establishment can be held responsible for injuries caused by a drunk driver in DUI cases only. State law, the dram shop is not liable for injuries or damage caused by someone who's drunk patron unless an employee of the establishment knowingly. Let me see. When a drunk driver causes an accident, the aftermath can be devastating as victims cope with physical injuries, emotional scars, and financial challenges from medical expenses, lost wages, damaged vehicles. While the law typically holds drivers accountable, the clients we represent in South Florida who have sustained serious bodily injury often ask, are bartenders responsible for drunk drivers and alcohol-related accidents for DUI victims? It's a valid concern, especially in Florida, where the laws governing drunk drivers, drunk driving, and alcohol liability can sometimes surprise those unfamiliar with the legal system. If you or someone you love has been injured by a DUI accident, blah, 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 right? All right. What do the Florida statutes say about bartender liability? Florida laws governing bartenders or establishments liability falls under what's known as the DARM shop laws. DARM shop laws decides whether the business or the person that provided the alcohol can be held liable for damages caused by an intoxicated individual. Compared to other states, like my state, they will put you in prison. I've seen it happen. I've seen bartenders go to prison for serving someone too much alcohol. I'm sure laws are more limited, but they allow liability, more specifically circumstances according to a bartender's establishment can be held responsible for injuries caused by a drunk driver in DUI cases only if they knowingly served alcohol to a minor, someone under the age of 21, or knowingly served alcohol to a person who is habitually addicted to alcohol. Therefore, in most cases, a bartender is not liable simply for serving alcohol to someone who later causes a drunk driving accident. However, as DUI accident lawyers know, if the individual who caused the accident was underage or known by bartender to be addicted to alcohol, grounds for legal action against the establishment could exist. So basically, if they knew he was an alcoholic and they continued to serve him, then there would be problems. They would be held liable. But I know out here in Connecticut, if you serve somebody alcohol and they cause an accident, the bartender is held criminally responsible and liable for payment for damages. Bloke could have taken pills that mixed the alcohol, put him to sleep. Could have. When in doubt, knock him out, says you're good, Staxx. You're just passing on the info at hand. A lot better than news that is for true. Hey, man, if I'm wrong, I'll put it out there. So I did. I put it out there that apparently I was given some wrong information. He's responsible for his own actions. I'm caught in the middle, somewhere in the middle. So let me ask this question. Hold on. Let me ask All right, so this is the big question, right? Is cycle drag responsible? And the answer is yes. He is responsible under Florida law. So yes, you are responsible in Florida. You can be held responsible for a crash that occurs if you let a drunk person drive a car or vehicle. This is because Florida laws hold owners responsible for damages caused by someone driving in a car with permission. Principle known that damages instrumentally doctrine, you could be liable for injuries or damages, and there's a risk of criminal charges for culpable negligence. What? So right there, we got the answer. Who's responsible for this situation? Negligence entrustment. You can be held liable if it is proven that you knew or should have known that the driver was intoxicated or otherwise unfit to drive. So he can be held criminally responsible in Florida. Wow. So you can face criminal charges, such as culpable negligence, which is a misdemeanor in Florida but could result in jail sentence. Florida law considers a vehicle a dangerous instrument, and the owner could be liable for damages if someone driving with permission, regardless of the owner's involvement. Financial liability. If you may be financially responsible for damages or injuries caused in an accident, including medical bills, lost wages, property damage. All right. So it says here he can be held responsible. So there you have it. In Florida's laws and Florida's eyes, cycle drag is responsible for this situation. It's not the bartender. Cycle drag is the one responsible. He obviously knew he had, and that video proves it, right? It proves it that he knows that he drank too much. He even said it. Are you safe to drive? And he was saying, what do I do in this situation? What do I do? What do I do? If he was asking himself what he should do, he probably knows what he should have did. So I think ultimately, cycle drag is kind of at fault. You can't blame the bartender. I know people that go into blackouts and you never know. Yeah, you're right. People Why not blame Lonnie? We don't know that the bartender served him. He could have BYOB or no, he was definitely drinking at a bar. I spoke to someone who was drinking with him that day. Hey, 518 Choppers, how you doing? Shout out to New York. Robert, what's good? Thanks for joining me today. Nah, he was definitely drinking at a bar. La Cosa, what's up? The pig's really out of line. They violate their fucking rights, period. 100%. Yeah, you can't blame the bartender. I know people in blackouts. You never know. Hodski, what's good? No, you can't blame Cycle Drag, be honest. The only one to blame is the rider. He chose to drink knowingly. Yeah, but I don't know, man. I'm kind of stuck in the middle because he clearly knew that he shouldn't have drank. I mean, shouldn't have drove away. He knew that. I mean, he was saying it, you know? So it's a big debate right now. They're talking about canceling him all over the place. People are unfollowing him. He has 1 million followers. 1,700,000 followers. People are unfollowing him. It's not looking good. And hopefully Lonnie survives this. But last thing I heard that he passed away. Apparently, he's still alive on life support. So maybe he wasn't only drunk. Maybe he used other stuff. He could have. I've had a fist fight in the past over the same sadly both sides when I was young. Listen, if it was me, I would fight the person if I had to stop them from driving because you don't know, man. They could drive off and hurt your family. Your family could be in the car going to do something. They would thank you in the morning. Trust me. Florida drunk driving accident. The driver is primarily responsible, but other parties may also be held liable, especially under the state's fault system. It's crazy. That photo of him looks credible, of him in the hospital passing away to me. Right? I mean, it looks pretty damn, I mean, if he passes away, it's not a big shocker if he did, right? I was shocked when I heard it. I was like, wow. And I heard it from multiple sources. I didn't just pull out that information out of my ass. But he clearly was not in any condition to be driving. This guy was sleeping on the bike. And look at all those bikes there. He could have took his keys. He could have called someone else over. Hey, help me with this dude. I guess he did what he could, right? Intoxicated drivers damages the bar restaurant served them can be liable if they knew they overserved the individual. Habitually addicted, yeah. If you knew they were an alcoholic. But shit, even if, say they're in a video jokingly about, man, you drink too much, blah, blah, blah. That's culpability right there, right? He panics, it's obvious. 100%, I agree with you. In the video, he kind of panics. He doesn't know what to do. He's like, what do I do? What do I do? I interviewed one of his friends yesterday, one of Lonnie's friends. And he was pretty shocked at the whole situation. Billy Lane could tell you about it. Who's that? It's only if he didn't try to stop him. He did by offering him an Uber. He didn't really say it too forcefully, though, you know? Hey, what's good, man? Jared Cook, how are you? Thank you for joining me today. Nick, how are you? Not really. Very weak. Case wouldn't even be prosecuted. Shit, what if he jumped in an 18-wheeler and hurt a whole bunch of people? We think it'd be prosecuted then? So what's the difference? This is not looking good on Cycle Drag's reputation as a whole. You know what I'm saying? Definitely not. It looks terrible. Some people are saying they don't want him back there. They said they don't want to see him on Main Street again. They said he's not welcome back there. Let him get hostile. I'll get hostile right back. Either way, he ain't fucking riding. 100%. I feel the same way. I would have stopped him. Looks incredible of him in the hospital passing away to me. I thought so too. I wasn't going off just a picture. I was going off what people were telling me. Credible sources, so. Dude, if I knew the kid in Lake George, why they killed a little girl drunk driving. His boat on a lake, sad shit all around. That's terrible, man. And in other news, they found all the people that passed away from the flood down in Texas. Every single little girl was found. It was over 100 and something people. That is a sad story. I'll tell you the number right now. But they just found the rest of them. It says this is the kind of news that makes the world stand still. It has been confirmed that 27 girls who disappeared during the floods of July the 4th at Camp Mystic in Kern County, Texas, have been found. Early morning, rescue teams found the last of the bodies in the Guadalupe River. The hope that families have been holding on to is gone. Across Texas, more than 104 people have died in what has become one of the worst disasters the state has ever seen. Grief hangs everywhere. But in the midst of the heartbreak, a voice stood out. Not from a stage, but from the heart. Robert Plant, the 76-year-old lead singer and songwriter of legendary rock band Led Zeppelin, donated $1.5 million to help the families of the victims and first responders. Then he disappeared into a small studio near Black County. No band, no big production, just his pain, his guitar, and a song. The result, a new version of Tell That Angel, Love Her, a raw and emotional ballad that sounds like it had been cried out. It's not polished, but it's real. And for many, it's the only thing that managed to say what no one else could. And that's a terribly sad situation. Rest in peace to all the people that lost their life in Texas in the flood. That was a crazy situation. I remember when that happened. It's hard enough riding a bike sober, but being drunk or high is playing Russian roulette with your life. 100%. A lot of people drink it, but a lot of people drink at these bike events. A lot too. There's been an overwhelming amount of crashes at a lot of these events. Sturgis this year, it was crazy how many people lost their life. I guess it's like those conspiracy charges. If you knew and you didn't call the cops, catch a charge. 100%. Same thing. I didn't unfollow him, but with modern cancel culture, he probably has done. Listen, his reputation is going to suffer the most. Only if you would have had a little immediately sober, right? Hey, Staxx, but you look like a guy who's been a fighter too. Almost 100% certain Cycle has not. Man, I've been hitting the head more than I can count. Yeah, I'm definitely used to be a scrapper. Yeah, he looks like he's not that type of guy, but should have been someone else to stop them then. He should have called someone else to help out, you know? You're losing Lonnie's situation. Definitely not, man. I don't know what you're talking about. Clickbait? Definitely not. I don't know what the fuck you're talking about, motherfucker. But you, motherfucking toilet, bitch. We don't got time for your bullshit.
Put him in a bench. You might. Leave him in there. Bobby, put him in the bedroom. Put him in. Put him in the bedroom. Get him out of here. Come on.
All right, now that we took care of that turd, I'm definitely not using this for clicks and views. I do not care about that. My job's to get information out there. You don't like it? Too fucking bad. Start your own fucking podcast then. I do shows on whatever the fuck I want. I don't ask permission. I don't need to. Anyway, let's get to the fucking news. I said my piece. If he's still kicking, that's great. I hope he survives the situation. I did hear from multiple sources that he passed away. Apparently, he's still kicking. So I did reach out to Psycho Drag multiple times. He's probably not going to see the message, but I did reach out. If you can, hit him up. Let him know that I want to have him on the show. And I'll interview Psycho Drag. And we'll talk about this whole situation. So in other news, there's more details about the pagans being pulled over on the bridge. Volusia County Sheriff's Office says they may be sending a message that they stopped a large group of pagan gang members on the International Speedway Boulevard Bridge during Biketoberfest in Daytona Beach. Images and a video shows motorcycles stopped on the bridge by a number of deputies and other law enforcement. Traffic behind them is also stopped by law enforcement. That is one of the reasons law enforcement might conduct such a large stop on outlaw motorcycle gangs known as OMGs. The Southwest Organized Crime Director of Florida Gang Investigators Association. Another reason he said may be that law enforcement may have had information that a large presence of weapons with a target like another gang in mind. It is a matter. It is better for law enforcement to call the play, so to speak, than being surprised should a problem arise. So basically, they funneled them to this bridge and searched all these guys because maybe they had weapons. These OMGs are into dominance, this guy says, when they conduct themselves. So at times, the philosophy is utilized by law enforcement. These stops might be pre-planned with sufficient resources. Upon seeing the video, the sheriff's office and other law enforcement would stop bikers on the bridge. He gave a thumbs up. Plenty of help, no escape route for the bikers. Good job on sending a message, he wrote. These guys are fucking despicable people. Given the climate between OMGs in our state, he said, and region, the Volusia County Sheriff's Office and other law enforcement involved had a very good reason to conduct such a stop. Bike Week shooting still fresh in everyone's mind. The climate, including the brawl and shootout during Bike Week in March between Mongols and the Warlocks, both classified as motorcycle gangs at the racetrack gas station on the 3000 State Road 44 in New Smyrna Beach. The Mongols surrounded the Warlocks, and then fighting began, following by a shooting, which left a Mongol and a Warlock with gunshot wounds, according to court records. The Volusia County Sheriff's Office arrested about 30 Mongols in July as part of what they called Operation Mongolian Beef in response to the racetrack melee. No Warlocks were charged. Why is that? It's kind of weird, right? It's kind of weird that they arrested just the Mongols and no Warlocks. It's just very odd. Volusia County Sheriff's Office took an extra step during the arrest to knock down the Mongols' sign at their clubhouse in Edgewater. The Flagler County Sheriff's Office sent its own message ahead of the Biketoberfest. When Sheriff Rick Stanley got in a truck and crushed a motorcycle seized during a previous Biketoberfest when an outlaw motorcycle gang member ran from the police and they confiscated the bike. During Biketoberfest, Volusia Sheriff's Office posted social media that they had stopped 25 to 30 pagans for multiple traffic violations and 4 motorcycles were towed. Reasonable suspicion is needed for a traffic stop. A motorcycle rider and former prosecutor said, who is now a private practice, said he did not have enough information about the stop to comment on why law enforcement pulled over the bikers. But he did say that police needed reasonable suspicion to make the traffic stop. Once police stop the person, they may learn of something that could lead to an arrest, like drugs in a vehicle or lack of driver's license. If you are stopped for reasonable suspicion of committing a traffic violation and that they have you detained and they determine that there is a warrant for your arrest, you are going to jail. Or if they determine that you are operating a vehicle with a suspended license, you are going to jail. He said that the speed limit is low on the bridge, so the motorcyclist could easily exceed it, giving police reason to stop the vehicles. Police could also stop a large group of bikers if they were impeding traffic, he said. And that's what they used. They said that they were stopping people at lights and going through. They were all riding in a pack. Biketoberfest arrests a 45 in 3 magazines. The affidavit of 4 people stopped at the same time and location, one of them being Brian Samerto, 30 years old, of West Palm Beach, according to the charging affidavit. A deputy saw the man on a gray Harley-Davidson going north on South Atlantic Boulevard, approaching Silver Beach Avenue in Daytona Beach. He was wearing a vest with the patch "Pagans" was across the shoulders and an East Coast patch on the lower back. He had a large group of other riders wearing similar vests and patches. The deputy said the motorcycle was following too closely and motorcycles ahead of it were making improper lanes changes to pass vehicles. According to the affidavit, deputies stopped the group of motorcyclists and observed offenses. The deputies checked for his driver's license and found he did not have a motorcycle endorsement. He was arrested and issued traffic violations. The motorcycle was towed. The arrest location was noted as east of International Speedway Boulevard, North Pensalusa Drive. Deputies searched his motorcycle and found he had a 1911 pistol with 3 magazines loaded with a total of 20 .45 caliber bullets, the affidavit stated. 3 other men on motorcycles were stopped in the area about the same time. They're not identifying them because the affidavit does not state that they were wearing pagan patches. Crime suppression team stops large group. Volusia County Sheriff's crime suppression team was doing proactive enforcement in the area of South Atlantic Avenue and East International Speedway Boulevard when they saw a large group of motorcyclists in close formation following too closely. An affidavit stated the team turned on its lights and sirens, and the bikers stopped without incident. A 42-year-old man from Palm Bay was riding a 2021 Harley Davidson, but he spontaneously stated that he did not have a driver's license. The man was carrying a Glock 21 handgun. The man was charged with operating a motorcycle without a valid license and taken to jail. His motorcycle was released to another group member. A 37-year-old man from Hudson was stopped because deputies said he was following too closely. The man was arrested and charged with not having a motorcycle endorsement license and was taken to jail. While searching the man, deputies found 2 guns, a silver Magnum research .45 caliber, and a black Ruger 3.7 by 28 caliber pistol. The motorcycle was towed. A 55-year-old man from DeLand who was riding a motorcycle in a group of bikers committed traffic violations was stopped in the area around 1:22 p.m., according to an affidavit. The DeLand man was following too closely, making improper lane changes, the affidavit stated. The man did not have a motorcycle endorsement and was arrested and his motorcycle towed. So there you have it. So they think they're sending a message. And I heard a story where the cops gave the cuts back to a certain group that was prosecuted, but I'll find that article and let you guys know. But they gave them their cuts back. I was surprised at that. I was like, damn, they usually don't do that. They usually destroy them. Probably. The ATF probably did write that. The Australian Strike Force, they are crazy, man. Speaking of that, I don't know if this is in Australia. It might be. Perth. Everyone knows who this guy is, right? So this guy's in the news. He was a high-ranking Hells Angel, but guess who he's with now? He's with the Mongols. And he's in court. Why is he in court, do you say? You see that little design on his chin, right? That's why he's in court. He was arrested for having that tattoo. They do not fuck around when it comes to those types of tattoos. He was arrested for having a tattoo on his chin. Let me see. Before I get into that, we're going to talk about a Madison man. Madison, Connecticut was killed in the East Haddam crash and was an engineer and known for his sharp wit. East Haddam, Connecticut. Stephen John Nichols of Madison, who was killed in a car crash in East Haddam last week, was an electrical engineer known for his sharp wit, dry sense of humor, and genius, and genuine kindness, according to an obituary. He was 63 years old. He was the president of a motorcycle club. On the afternoon of October 15, Nichols was westbound on East Haddam Colchester Turnpike on a BMW motorcycle approaching Star Road intersection, police said. The driver of a Toyota Tacoma pickup truck headed south on Star Road attempted to make a left turn and entered the motorcycle's path, causing a collision, police said. Nichols was thrown from the bike and pronounced dead at the scene, police said. The 51-year-old pickup truck driver from East Haddam had apparent injuries and refused to be transported to the hospital. Police said that they're investigating the crash. The man was born in New Haven. Nichols was a longtime Madison resident and was married, a father of 2 daughters, according to an obituary. He graduated summa cum laude from the University of New Haven in 1986. He married his high school sweetheart, Susan Nichols. Later that year, Steve built a distinguished career as electrical engineer, working mostly for defense companies over the last 38 years. His intelligence, work ethic, and integrity earned him the respect of both his colleagues and friends. His lifelong motorcycle enthusiast was a member of a Meriden motorcycle club since 1999 and was named the club president in 2006. Later, he joined the British Iron Association with his brothers. There, he would further share in the common passion for motorcycles, the obituary said. Nichols also was described as a vigorous reader with deep fascination for history and constant thirst for knowledge. Above all, Stephen was a family man, hardworking, honest, and always ready to lend a hand to others. He was the kind of person that would give you the shirt off his back. Rest in peace to Stephen Nichols from East Haddam. It's a sad situation. Be aware what you're doing if you're riding a motorcycle. You need to be aware. People are not with it these days. People are driving around with no license. They don't give a shit, man. No members of major 1%. You said they can't ride a BMW? What color's on? Hey, Staxx, just being on your show. Problem going on the government shit list. You think so? I don't get it. Just being on your show, your problem is going on a government shit list. You think they'll put me on one? I don't give a shit. What the fuck they gonna do to me? No, I'm not a part of any club. I'm just here to report the news. So in other news, if you guys aren't aware, you guys know who the Avengers Motorcycle Club is, right? So a judge has thrown out a murder conviction. Judge drops murder charge in double fatal shooting involving Columbus Motorcycle Club. Franklin County prosecutors will not pursue murder charges against a man who said he fired a gun in self-defense during an August 2022 shooting in Far South Side Bar, shooting a motorcycle club that ended with 2 people dead. Brody Saber, 41, of Columbus, was charged with murder and felonious assault In the August 1st, 2022 shooting at the Old Landmark Tavern located on 176 Ramsey Road, the shooting left Nicholas Dollar, 34, and Glenn Clark III, 50, dead and 2 other men wounded. Saber said during the first day of bench trial on October 21st before Franklin County Common Plea Court Judge Jeff Brown that he shot the men in self-defense. On October 22nd, Assistant Franklin County Prosecutor Jason Manning and Natalie Clayer agreed to a plea deal in which Saber admitted to having a weapon under the disability, along with underlining felony charge connected to non-payment of child support. Saber was not allowed to possess a weapon because of a 2012 drug possession conviction, according to court records. Brown sentenced Saber to 3 years of probation as part of a plea bargain. The judge dismissed 2 counts of murder and 2 counts of felonious assault and lifted the house arrest and GPS monitoring restrictions Saber had been under while the case was pending. Manning told Brown that this decision came after prosecutors determined they would no longer be able to prove that the shooting wasn't self-defense. In self-defense cases, Ohio law requires prosecutors to prove a shooting was not self-defense rather than the defendant having to prove that they were justified. The video from the bar showed Saber and Dollar getting into a fight in a fenced-in back area outside the bar's patio. Saber pulled a gun and fired at Dollar and 2 other men nearby, who were both wounded. Saber ran to the front parking lot of the bar. The angle of the video played during the pretrial prevented viewing of the entire interaction. Saber and Clark had a shootout in the parking lot in the front of the bar where both men were hurt, prosecutors said. A bullet struck Saber in the neck, and Clark died of his injuries. Clark, Dollar, and another 2 men who were injured were members of the Avengers Motorcycle Club, prosecutors said. Caller said the deadly fight stemmed from a shooting several nights before where several motorcycles sustained damage while parked outside the bar. Saber was not involved in that incident, Crawler said. So this guy got seriously lucky, considering he could have probably went to jail for the rest of his life. They ended up dropping murder charges against him. Insane. In other news, Argentinian bikers faced off with the Hells Angels. So there's a video of this situation on Patreon. You guys can go check it out. I cannot play it here on YouTube because of obvious reasons. There's gunshots in the video, and YouTube doesn't like that too much. So, but listen, when I get more information about what's going on with in my area, can ride a BMW. 1%ers in my area can ride BMW if you're an old man, like life member, while wearing their colors. All young fellas ride American only. Thank you for sharing that. I appreciate it. The more I think about it, and this is potential for legal accountability, maybe the cops should do their job. Maybe they should have let the 16s alone and use their resources wisely. 100%. So word is that they are working on getting some lawyers to fight all these charges. And I believe they'll probably get them dropped. Thank you. When in doubt, knock them out. I appreciate you. I will bring you guys the content as it comes in. My apologies for even thinking that he passed away. But that's the word that I was hearing from different sources. I hope he does make it. Sending condolences and prayers out to his family. I hope he recovers. And I will bring you guys more information as it becomes available. But things are not looking good for Cycle Drag. People are unfollowing him. They're saying all kinds of stuff in the comments, saying he's not welcome at any of these bike events. We'll see what happens. But I hope you guys like this show. And my apologies for the confusion. I will bring you guys more information as it becomes available. And there's a lot more shows on the way. Tonight, Matty Boy Part 2. Go check it out or join the membership. You'll be able to see all the videos. I just uploaded all of them. So go check them out. I appreciate you. Hit the like button, subscribe, hit the notification bell so you can get my videos every time they drop. And if you don't like this show, too fucking bad. Start your own podcast. Tell a friend to tell a friend. Tell your mother's, brother's, sister's friend about Chatting with Staxx, the dopest motorcycle content on YouTube. I appreciate all you guys. And remember, don't be a bitch. Peace.